It is another morning in Madrid, and everyone is busy with their normal routine. Salesman Sergio is on the phone, talking to a client about his new products. Israel, a homeless man, is once again chased away by the police for sleeping on the street. Trini, who loves gambling, asks the shop owner to add today's food cost to her unpaid bill. Young Elena is happily talking to her friend on the phone about a date with a man she met online. Elena's phone suddenly dies, so she walks into a nearby bar to get a coffee and asks the worker Sadr if he has a charger she can use. Right after her, a sick man coughing badly enters the bar and quickly runs to the bathroom. This makes the bar owner Amparo angry because many people use her toilet without buying anything. Israel then walks in too, knowing Amparo will give him free food. He keeps loudly quoting the Bible, which annoys everyone, including a bank clerk, a street cleaner, and a former police officer named Andres. Nacho does not care because he is wearing headphones. Soon after, Sergio and Trini enter the bar. Trini plans to spend her last money playing the slot machine. The bank clerk gets tired of waiting for his breakfast and decides to leave. The moment he steps outside, he is shot. People outside run away, and everyone inside the bar panics. Nacho only understands what is happening a bit later because he did not hear the gunshot. There is no phone signal inside the bar, so they cannot call the police. The street cleaner decides to go outside to check what happened. Sadly, he is also shot. Israel laughs and keeps quoting the Bible while the others drop to the floor in fear. Israel wants to leave because he has church, but Amparo convinces him to stay by offering more food and saying she will talk to the priest later. Trini slowly grabs the remote and turns on the TV. As she changes channels, they notice something strange. No news channel is talking about the people who were just killed on the street. While they argue about this, Trini looks outside and sees something even more shocking. The bodies are gone, and there is no blood at all. They cannot understand why someone removed the bodies but ignored them. While waiting for help, they try to pass time by talking and watching TV. Sadr starts sharing wild ideas, saying maybe they are dreaming, taken by aliens, or trapped by the government. Amparo slaps him to calm him down, and they focus on the facts. Elena thinks the two dead men might be connected, but that seems unlikely since one was a cleaner and the other a bank worker. Sergio then has a scary thought. Maybe it is not a criminal shooting people, but the police. They may think a dangerous criminal is hiding inside the bar, so they shoot anyone who tries to leave. If the person outside is very dangerous, like a terrorist with a bomb, the police cannot risk letting them escape. This could explain why the area is empty and why the police are not entering the bar. While everyone talks about this idea, Nacho decides to hide his bag so no one thinks it is suspicious, but he is seen doing it. Sergio and Andres grab Nacho while Sadr takes the bag, though he is too scared to open it. Amparo takes the bag herself and opens it. Inside, she finds only clothes and a hard drive. Nacho says it is just work stuff. Another argument starts about what to do next. Elena suddenly grabs the hard drive, throws it on the floor, and steps on it until it breaks. She then calls everyone childish for believing silly ideas. Nacho gets angry because people suspected him just because of his beard and because he did not react to the gunshot. He points at Sergio's suitcase and says it could also be dangerous. Amparo takes the suitcase, and Sergio tries to stop her. Sadr jumps in to protect Amparo, but Sergio hits him by mistake. Shocked, Andres pulls out his gun to calm things down. Everyone freezes, and Israel uses the moment to steal the suitcase. After quoting the Bible again, Israel opens the suitcase. Inside, there is only lingerie, which is the product Sergio sells. At that moment, a strange sound comes from the bathroom. They suddenly remember the sick man. The door is locked, so Andres shoots it open. Inside, they find the man collapsed over the toilet, blood coming from his ears, and a strange syringe on the floor. Then, another sound comes from outside. A truck arrives carrying special agents wearing masks. They ignore the people inside the bar and place tires outside, then set them on fire. Thick black smoke rises and soon appears on TV. The news talks about a big fire in Madrid. The group understands that the government started the fire to hide what is happening. The sick man suddenly comes out of the bathroom in terrible shape. He drops his phone, says, "Don't touch me," and falls to the floor dead. Nacho picks up the phone, and by looking at the photos, they learn the man was in the military and worked in Africa. The pictures also show men in protective suits. Everything becomes clear. The man brought a deadly disease with him. That is why the area was cleared, and why anyone leaving the bar is shot. They are likely already infected, and the government is hiding the truth. Believing they will all die, everyone goes back to sitting and waiting, trying to stay calm. Israel prepares the dead man for funeral prayers. Elena and Nacho take the phone, which has only 10% battery left, and try to find a signal. Nacho stands on a chair near the higher part of the ceiling and finally gets reception. He calls a coworker and says the news on TV is lying. Thinking Nacho is not being serious enough, Sadr grabs the phone and starts yelling for help. The coworker thinks it is a joke and hangs up. Nacho says the battery is too low for another call. The two men start fighting over the phone and the chair breaks. They fall down and crash into the others. This makes Trini hit the slot machine and she suddenly wins the jackpot. Coins pour out and Israel quickly starts collecting them. Andres asks to use the phone next, but Amparo tells him not to touch it because it belonged to the sick man. She says anyone who touched him should stay away from her. Andres and Sergio agree and think safety comes first. They run behind the counter with Amparo. Elena says this makes no sense because they have all been together for hours and touched each other already. But the three do not change their minds. Andres pulls out his gun and forces the others to go into the storeroom. He tells them to take the sick man's body with them. Nacho refuses at first, but Andres shoots the slot machine to show he is serious. Israel also takes his time, still quoting the Bible, until Amparo gives him 2 bottles of alcohol to make him go. Inside the old and dirty storeroom, they talk to pass the time. Trini, who is afraid of small spaces, starts to panic. She runs up the stairs and bangs on the door, but nothing happens. While waving her arms, she knocks over a box of bottles, breaking them. Nacho notices there is no liquid on the floor, so there must be a drain. After moving some things, they find it. When they open it, they see it leads to the sewers and is not very deep. Israel offers to go down first. He takes off his clothes, leaves his bag of coins behind, and covers himself with oil. He tries to slide into the drain, but even with everyone pushing, the hole is too small. Israel gets stuck. Suddenly, they hear gunshots upstairs. It sounds like people have entered the bar and are shooting Amparo, Andres, and Sergio. Then, the room starts to get hot, and smoke comes in through the door. A fire has been lit inside the bar to clean it out. They know they will soon suffocate. Elena, Nacho, and Sadr work together to pull Israel out of the drain so air can come in from the sewers. Trini has another panic attack and tries to open the door. She burns her hands in the process. They cover her hands with oil and wrap them in toilet paper. After a while, the noise upstairs stops. Nacho opens the door using a broom. The bar is burned and the bodies are gone. The agents have sealed the place so they cannot see what is happening outside. The group comes out of the storeroom. Nacho finds Andres' gun on the floor and hides it in his pants, even though the hot metal burns his skin. Trini wants to go outside and ask for help, but Nacho tells her that showing themselves will only get them killed. None of them feel sick, so Nacho thinks they just need to stay hidden for a few days until everything is over. There's enough food and drink in the storeroom to survive. A sudden sound scares them, but it is only the sick man's phone. It is receiving many messages. Elena reads them and learns that a friend was worried about the man. The messages say he had a fever for days and knew someone was following him. He went into the bar to use the bathroom so he could secretly inject himself with an experimental serum he had stolen. It did not work on him, but he had already been sick for a long time. Since no one else has symptoms yet, there is a chance the serum could work for them. Then, the phone starts ringing. The same person is calling. Nacho is not sure if answering is safe, and while he hesitates, the phone battery dies. Sadr runs upstairs to look for a charger. Suddenly, Elena remembers a message saying there were 4 doses left. They check the body but find nothing, so they rush to the bathroom. Israel reaches it first and finds a box with 4 syringes. He starts singing because he knows he now has power over the others. There are only 4 doses for 5 people. While they argue about what to do, Israel injects himself, thinking the group would choose him to die anyway. Nacho pulls out the gun but does not shoot, because Elena says the police outside would hear it. Instead, Nacho jumps on Israel and attacks him. Israel fights back, takes the gun, and when Sadr tries to grab the syringes, Israel hits him. The box falls down into the storeroom. Trini runs downstairs and picks up the box, but her bandaged hands make her drop it into the sewers. Now someone thin has to go down, and the only choice is Elena. She takes off her clothes, covers herself with oil, and slides into the hole. It hurts her legs and makes her bleed, but the others push until she falls into the dirty water below. Elena quickly finds the box, but she refuses to tie it to the wire Nacho lowers. She knows they will use all the doses and leave her with nothing. She says she wants to be better than them and will not use a dose on herself either. If they want to decide together, they must come down too. Elena moves deeper into the sewer while the others use a pipe to widen the hole. After walking for a while, Elena finds a storm drain. She hides the syringes inside a crack in the wall and looks outside. The streets are still full of police and special agents, and they are cleaning up the bodies taken from the bar. Elena goes back to the hole in the storeroom. She sees that the men have already come through and are helping Trini. Trini moves wildly, and this makes everyone fall into the water. Sadr and Trini manage to get out, but Nacho uses the moment to jump on Israel to get the gun back. They fight underwater, and a few shots are fired. Nacho comes back up and says Israel was the one shooting, then disappeared into the water after Nacho took the gun from him. The group believes Nacho killed Israel, who had been getting more violent every minute. Tired of the madness, Elena tells Nacho to throw away the gun if he wants her to lead them to the syringes. Nacho refuses and instead threatens to kill Sadr. Elena has no choice and starts guiding them to the wall where she hid the syringes. On the way, Trini uses the bag of coins she took from Israel and drops them on the ground so they can find the way back. When they reach a dark tunnel, Trini suddenly screams and pretends Sadr is pushing her, but she is the one pushing him into the water. She acts like she is helping him, but she is actually holding his head down to drown him. Nacho fires a shot to get light and sees what Trini is doing. He jumps into the water and saves Sadr. They move to a brighter tunnel and keep Trini at gunpoint, but Nacho cannot bring himself to shoot her. Trini says she hates being looked at. She grabs the gun and walks around the corner, planning to end everything herself. The other three find the syringes and split them between them. Before they can use them, they hear the sound of coins hitting the ground. They follow the noise and find Trini's body with coins placed on her eyes. It is a trap. While they are distracted, Israel appears from behind and kills Sadr. Israel then chases Elena and Nacho through the tunnels. They run until they find stairs leading outside. While climbing, Elena slips and drops her syringe. Israel grabs Nacho. Knowing he cannot escape, Nacho gives Elena his syringe and lets go of the stairs. Both men fall and die. Elena cries and injects herself. She reaches the top, pushes the manhole cover, and finally gets it open. She comes out beyond the blocked area. People stare at her dirty and injured state. A man asks if she is okay, and a woman gives her a jacket, but Elena does not react. She is so lost in her thoughts that she does not notice she passes by the man she was supposed to meet for her date. He calls her name, but Elena keeps walking forward without looking back. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching.